welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you for your love, for your support. If you are new to the channel, you are highly and very welcome. And if you have not subscribed, please, I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button and then hit on the bell on the side to get an update whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a 4-piece skirt with back tail. So this is a simple skirt. I think I've done the pattern drafting before on my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'll show you how to cut and sew that skirt. So I'm going to, for the sake of those people that have not seen that video before, I don't want to drop the link. So let me just go over it again, just cut it on our pattern and then we'll transfer it to the fabric. I can actually do this directly on my fabric, but most times when adding gorget or tail to your skirt, it's better for you to do it with a pattern. So with that, you'll be able to minimize your fabric, and so you will not waste your fabric. So if you want to register for my online classes, you can just see my number scrolling through the screen. Send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll give you the details of the classes we have presently available. You can follow me on all of my social media platforms: Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, all at Stylish Naija. So now let's just get started straight into the tutorial. Okay, so this is the fabric that I'm going to be making use of. I have a damask fabric here. This is about 3.5 yards of damask. So this is my pattern paper. So I have some lines already on the pattern paper. So my pattern paper, I had to join it because I'm out of pattern paper. So just bear with me. So the first line I have here is 9 inches, which is my hip line measurement. And then the next line I have here is 20 inches, which is for my knee. So how to get this measurement, like the hip line, that one is like a constant line. That's like a constant measurement. So you can use 9 inches. For people that are very tall, you use 10 inches for them. So for the knee, most times some people like making use of 18, but me, I always like measuring. And my flare, I actually don't like them starting from on top of my knees. I like them starting from the down part of my knee. So that kind of gives you this kind of fish-like shape and makes the skirt looks really beautiful. I've been using this method and it has really worked for me. Okay, so that is why I'm making use of 20 inches. Other than that, we can use 18 inches. It's going to start from the top. Okay, and then the full length of my skirt is 42 inches. So this is 42. So when I'm transferring to the fabric, I'll add my allowance. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to start our measurement. So in order for us to start the measurement, I'm going to come to this side of my pattern paper. I did not fold my pattern paper. So it depends on how big I want my skirt to be. So it depends on what I am leaving on this side will make it will help show how big my skirt will be. So I'm going to use about 9 inches. I want my skirt really full, so I'll use 9 inches. So this 9 inches, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to run a line here now. That's 9 inches. So you can see I'm just marking it on this line, and then I'll come to this line on my, okay, let me just run it to the down. So we walk from there. So I ran it to the hem line, you understand? So I'm just going to run it to the hem line. And then just ignore this part. So we're going to draft our skirt on this other side. So the measurement I'm going to be making use of, my waist measurement is 34, and then my hip measurement is 40. So these are the basic measurement that I'm going to make use of. So for the knee, you can always measure around your knee, or you just you remove 2 inches from your hip measurement. So for mine, I don't want a wide skirt, so I'm going to use my waist measurement, which is 34, as my knee measurement also. So the next thing now, we're going to start inserting our measurement. Okay, yeah. So our waist measurement is 34. So we divide 34 into 4. So I'm just folding my tape to make it easy. I'll place it here now, this waistline. Okay, I need to readjust my camera. Sorry about that. Okay, so the 9 inches that I measured on this side, I just ran it down. So for this, depends on how big your fabric is. You can decide to use 5 inches, you can even use 4 inches, you can use 3 inches. So it's not like it is a constant measurement. So please note for this, because I want my skirt to be very full at the center, so that is why I'm using 9 inches. You can use as much as 10 inches, even to 15 inches, depends on your fabric. Okay, so now my name, sorry, why do I keep saying my name measurement? So I'm going to insert my waist measurement here, divided by 4. I'll just mark it here like this. So I'm going to add just 1 inch allowance to it, or 1.5. I'll add 1.5 inch allowance, and then I'll come to my hip line. So this is my hip line. My hip is 40. I'll add my 40 inches, and then I'll add the same 1.5 that I added on this side. So I'll just curve it in, and then for my, all my measurements are starting from here. So like I said, you can decide to just reduce 2 inches from here to get your knee measurement. But mine, since I want it to be very tight and shapy, so I'm just going to take what I have here. That's on my waist measurement. I'm using the same measurement I use for my waist, which is 34. That's what I'm using for my knee. So that is why. And then I'll just curve it into this point like this. So this will help give my skirt a beautiful shape. And then for the down part of my skirt, for the down part, you can take any measurement of your choice. So I have about 12 inches left on my pattern. I'm going to use this, but when I'm transferring to my fabric, I will increase it. So I'll show you how to do that. Just keep watching. So now I've finished taking my skirt on this part now, so you can see the shape of my skirt. So let me cut it out so you can see it properly before we continue with the other part. Okay, so I had to just readjust the camera. Okay, so now we're done with our skirt pattern. The next thing we're going to do now is on this side. So for this side, what I'm going to do, I'll come to my waistline here. I'll just add a stitching allowance on this side. A stitching allowance of about 2 inches. You can add 1 inch, depends on what you want. So that 1 inch, that and 2 inch, I'm going to repeat it on my hip line, and then I'll connect them like this. So just see, it is a straight, it's actually a straight line, it is not curved. So I'll come to my knee line. I use 2 inches on this side. On the knee part, I'm not going to use 2 inches. So I'll use about 1 inch. So I'll slope it in like this into that 1 inch that I use on my knee part. So you see what I have now. So this is kind of giving it shape. So you remember this down part, we actually used 9 inches initially. So that's 1 inch on my knee part. I'm just going to do this. I'll take this and then I'll float it into the down part of my skirt. So that was what I was telling you, that you can do as much as 15 inches, depends on how big you want, you understand. So for a 4-piece skirt, I really love the pattern. So you can see that it has shape. So we are going to cut this out now. So this part, just blend it as you're cutting. It should not be sharp like that. Okay, so now you can see our skirt is looking beautiful. So the next thing, now we're going to place this on our pattern. So this, I'm going to cut out 2 pieces for the front and then 2 pieces for the back. That makes it a 4 pieces. But since I'm going to add a tail to the back one, so this part for my back piece is going to be bigger. So let's cut out the front piece first, and then we'll place our pattern to create out the tail for the back. So I'm just going to place this now and cut out 2 pieces. That 2 pieces is going to be for my front pattern. Okay, so I'm going to cut my skirt now. So this is our front pattern. So I'm going to just notch the nail point, so I will know that that's where the flay started from. So I'll open it up now for you to see. So you can see how the skirt is going to look like. This is going to make it, you can see it's going to make it really full at the down part of the skirt. So you can see, if you don't want to do a 6 pieces, you can always do a 4 pieces, and it's still going to be gorgeous. So I'll spread my fabric and then we'll cut out the back piece. Okay, so now we're going to mark out our back panel. So you can see this is the, I folded it into two. This is the front piece. So here, all of this side, we're going to cut them. It's going to be the same, exactly the same. So we'll come to this part now. So I'm going to add my zip allowance to it, to this back panel, just about 1 inch, because since I already have allowance before on it, so I'll just mark it so you can see it. And then when I get to the knee part, so this is the knee. From this knee part, so I'll just adjust my fabric a little bit so you can see it properly. From this part, here's what I'm going to do. So I'm just using the fabric that I have to create out this tail. So I'll take it down like this straight. I'm not making it curve, it's going to be straight. I want the straight one. So once I get to this down part, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down more a little bit. So that coming down a little bit, you are going to determine how much you want to come. So for this, I'm just going to add about 8 inches. So that 8 inches, I'll show you what to do. So I'll just adjust so you can see. So once I get to this part like this, I'm going to create a curve. So for this, I'm just doing a curve, like a curved tail. That's for the down part. And then as I curve along, just take a look at what I'm doing. As I'm curving it, I'm just taking it and blending it into the side of the other part, so you can see what I have. So I hope my camera captures this, so you can see what I have here. So I'll try and see. So you see what I have. So that is how simple and easy it is. So I hope it captures it. So I'm going to go ahead now, cut it out. Okay guys, so I finished cutting it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut my lining. And the lining, I'm going to cut it exactly like this. Since I'm going to turn it, I'll cut it in the same exact way. And then I'll take it back to my machine and stitch. So I'm going to do an inseam. So I'll stitch the front pieces first. So what I mean by stitching the front, I'm going to join it. Remember that allowance that we added on the center front? I'm going to join it first and then join the back also along this line like this. I'll just join it down and then I'll join the lining and then I'll bring it back and show you how it's going to look like. Okay, so at the end of the day, I finished joining all of my pieces. So I've joined the front and then this is the back. I've joined them together. So the only thing that is remaining now is just for me to add my dart. I'll just add my dart and then I'll join the side and side together. So that is how, and then fix the zip for the back panel. So you can see how full, how beautiful the front is looking, and then see how full the back is looking. So when you're stitching the back together, you just make sure that you bring everything to the side. Just bring everything together. Make sure that that down part, you see both of them, they are equal. You stitch them, and then the edge excess that you have for the tail, you just shift it to the center and then stitch the side together. So that is how you actually sew a 4-piece skirt. It is a simple skirt, but the beauty is really phenomenal. It's really beautiful, so you can see. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop it here. If you find this video helpful, please hit on the like button, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.